Hi paper crafters! The project I'm going to be making today is an old movie themed wall hanging. I love old movies, especially silent movies, and I have seen quite a bunch of them last year, and I'm going to bring this tradition into this year as well. So this is what my project is about, and now let's get started. For the banner base, I'll be using a die by Spellbinders called 3 the Crowd. It includes 3 shapes of banners, and each banner has 2 sizes. I'll be using black and off-white patterned papers. I'm just using the leftovers from different sets. So now I'm stacking 3 papers one on top of the other, and I'm going to cut all 3 banners in one go. I will also die cut the same shape banner, but the bigger one, out of the off-white paper. You can find the list of supplies that I'm using on my blog as well as in the description. I'm going to use this stamp by Team Holtz to create the background. It is from the set that is called Slight Alterations. I'm stamping it onto my banner with Picket Fence Distress ink, and the effect reminds me of an old scratched film strip. I will stamp all 3 banners the same way, and now I'm going to repeat this process on the white banners, but this time I'm using Walnut Stain Distress Oxide ink. I am only stamping around the edges because they are going to be visible. Now when I have prepared the background, I'm going to do some embossing. I'll be using this set of mini embossing folders by Team Holtz. Their size perfectly matches my banners, and I'm going to emboss each banner with a different pattern. This is a very basic embossing. I'm just placing my paper inside the folder, building up an embossing sandwich, and running it through the die cutting machine. Now I'm placing the paper back into the folder, and I'm going over the embossed areas with a sanding tool. This way I'm not going to flatten out the image. This will create a distressed effect, and it will also reveal the texture. Now I'm going over the edges of the banner with the sanding tool again. When I'm finished with the sanding, I'm going to create the focal images. I'll be using these 3 dies by Fuzzy Lemon, and also the numbers from the Etched alphabet set by Spellbinders. I'm going to die cut all those images out of the patterned paper with the newspaper print on it. And to make those images more interesting, I'm going to add some inking. To do this, I'm placing this popcorn die cut back into the die, and I'm going to stencil right through the die. I'm using scattered straw distress ink for the popcorn. Then I'm also applying Walnut Stain Oxide ink with my finger. This will reveal the texture and also create some shading. I'm going to treat all 3 die cuts the similar way. For this one, I'm also going to stencil through the die, and then I'm planning to go over the edges of the die cut with the walnut stain. And I will be repeating this process with a glass die cut. I'm also going to inlay those little negative strips. I'm inking them with fired brick oxide ink and also adding some brown. And then I'm ready to place them back into the die. I'm adding a little bit of ink to the numbers to make them match other die cuts. I'm applying some double-sided tape at the wrong side of the die, and then I'm going to adhere those strips of paper right where they belong. I'm attaching a piece of black craft foam at the wrong side of this glass because I'm planning to mount it. The next step is super easy. I'm just attaching those images on top of the banner. I'll be using a liquid glue to attach this clapperboard as well as the numbers. I have die cut those banners again, this time out of black craft foam, and I'm going to attach it at the wrong side. If the foam happens to hang off the edge of the banner, just trim it down with the scissors, because foam does tend to stretch when you die cut it. Now my wall hanging is ready to be assembled. I'm applying double-sided tape along the center of each banner. And now I'm going to attach this Filmstrip ribbon. This one is also by Team Holtz. I'm using the grid mat to make sure the banners are placed parallel to each other and they are also evenly spaced. When all the banners are attached to the ribbon, I'm trimming off the tail. Then I'm using double-sided tape again to attach the black banners on top of the white ones. I'm aligning the top edge of the banners, leaving the border at the bottom as well as at the sides. I will also cut several smaller pieces of the film strip ribbon to embellish the banners. And I'm planning to attach them with the eyelets. I have chosen the red ones. I'm punching a hole at the bottom of each banner, and I'm also curling up the top end into the loop and punching through it as well. I also have to punch a hole at each little piece of film strip. Then I'm going to set up the eyelets. The one at the top is going to hold the loop together. And I will be using the rest of the eyelets to attach a couple of pieces of the strip to the banner. All I need to do now is to attach a piece of twine to be able to hang the banners onto the wall. And that finishes my project for today. Thank you for watching this video. If you are looking for more inspiration, here are some projects that you might like. Have a fantastic day and I'll be seeing you soon.